I literally used to get a panic attack when the teacher would say these 5 words. Tell us something about yourself. I remember those introduction circles in school where like everybody had to tell 3 things about themselves, and I couldn't even focus on what the other people were saying because I was so busy with thinking about a cool answer I would give just to not look like I'm boring or I'm a loser or something. Let me ask you a question. If I would ask you now who you are, or please tell me something about yourself, what would you say? If you struggle to answer this question, please don't worry, because this video is for you. I used to be at the exact same situation like you are. I used to be a depressed people pleaser with zero confidence, no real friends, and no girls into me. But today, everything changed. I have confidence and I am charismatic. I have the best friends I can imagine, and I enjoy beautiful and honest relationships with girls. And let me tell you this transformation is nothing magical. You can achieve it too, and I'm here to help you with this. In this video, I'm gonna explain to you a crucial concept I call the chameleon effect, and how to, in the future, answer to the question from the beginning with ease. So stick with me. So what is the chameleon effect? What does the chameleon do? What is characteristic for a chameleon? It changes its color depending on its environment. A chameleon, depending on the environment, changes its color. Why does the chameleon do that? Because it is a survival mechanism. The chameleon wants to hide in the environment to ensure that no predator catches the chameleon or that the prey does not see the chameleon. The chameleon tries to fit into the environment. People pleasers are like chameleons, exactly the same. People pleasers try to fit into their environment, and by changing their color, by changing their personality, how they speak, what they say, how they behave, by that they try to fit into a certain group, into a certain environment. Doesn't matter where it is. And probably you have learned that you have to be a certain type of person in specific groups. You need to be a specific type of person with your friend group at school. You need to be a specific type of person with your family at home. You need to be a specific type of person with your neighbors, for example. Imagine you are like an undercover agent from like comedy movies where the police officer or the agent, he like dresses like the gangsters, he tries to speak like the gangsters, and on purpose he exaggerates because it's like a comedy movie, but still the gangsters kinda accept him and stuff like that. You are like this undercover agent. The point is, in the movie, the undercover agent, he knows he is an agent. He knows who he actually is. He just pretends for a purpose. With people pleasers, the case is that they pretend, they change colors, they change personalities, but they don't know who they truly are. They don't know how to be when nobody is actually around. And that is the point. When you act and pretend 24/7, in those moments when you are lonely, when you're alone with nobody, you are tired. You're tired of pretending. You're tired of being something you're not. But at the same time, you have this internal conflict and question, well, I don't like being like this, but who do I actually am? Back then, I did not realize how serious and how intense this was for me. And there was this one moment I remember. I was working at a student job with a good friend of mine. I'm still friends with him. And we're like talking and joking. And a guy came in I knew from, I don't know when, I just knew him. And within a split second, when I saw him, my whole behavior changed. My tonality changed. how I spoke with him changed, and I turned into this like overly nice, cute, whatever persona. Everything changed like in a split second. I talked with him for like 5 minutes, and then I turned back to my friend who was standing there and listening all the time. And he looked at me like kind of mad and with a serious face and said to me, "Bro, what the fuck was this?" And I asked him like, "What do you mean? This was like a friend of mine." And he said, "Bro, this was not you. Like, you literally just was you literally just pretended you would be some overly nice girly whatever stuff. This was not you, bro." And that moment, like, I felt I felt pretty ashamed. I felt pretty ashamed because he was right, and I knew he was right, but I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to admit it that actually I just switched colors in front of my friend, and he saw it and he called me out on it. But I was like, "No, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?" And this was the moment where I actually realized it, like, whoa, I am actually like doing it. I'm actually like the chameleon. I'm changing colors depending on with who I'm talking. Now the big question, how do we actually change that? Imagine you have a pet chameleon at home and you want your pet chameleon, let's call him Gustavo. Imagine you want Gustavo to stop changing colors. What would you say or do that Gustavo stops changing colors? You would give him more safety. Because why do a chameleon actually change colors in the first place? Because it feels unsafe. Why do the chameleon have the instinct, the need to change its colors and to hide in the environment? Because there is something in the environment that tells the chameleon, "Oh, I have to hide, there is danger." The chameleon feels unsafe. That's why it's changing colors. And again, as I told before, people pleasers are like chameleons. And that in this case, it's the exact same situation. You change your color because you fear that when you are not acting according to what you think the group wants you to act, you fear that you will be abandoned. You fear that the group will reject you, that they won't accept you anymore. That is the big part here. So we need to create more safety for you. How do we do that? And to create more safety, you need to teach you teach your brain and body, your nervous system. You need to reteach your nervous system to see that even if you don't change your color, if you don't switch into another personality or people pleaser traits, you're still okay, you're still fine. You do this by doing something I call the thinker. Be the thinker. You know this famous statue of this guy who's like this? And he thinks, the thinker. Be the thinker. What does it mean? The next time when you speak with someone, when you are in a conversation, it doesn't matter with who, it can be anybody. When the person asks you a question, instead of instantly replying like, you are the thinker. For a moment, you go silent, you think, then you give the answer. And it does not have to be like for ages, just 3 seconds. Just for 3 seconds, you have the question, pause, 3 seconds, just 3 seconds, just count 1, 2, 3, then you are giving the answer. By that, you create this gap, this pause is crucial, because this pause shows your brain and nervous system over time that it is okay, that it is safe to like take longer for an answer. Because like you usually, when someone asks you something, you're instantly replying, you're instantly answering, because you fear that, okay, I have to answer fast, because when I'm silence is cringe and whatever. Be the thinker. Just pause for 3 seconds. Just by this 3 second pause, you interrupt the pattern. You interrupt your automatic response that you respond instantly, which is automatic. You literally interrupt the pattern. And over time, your true color will come back. Your true color will come back. You will start to live according to your heart. You will start to live more authentically. And let me tell you this, like, authenticity takes courage. And at the beginning, like, those 3 seconds will feel like ages for you. It will feel uncomfortable. But that is the point. If you truly want to step out of this people pleasing, of this changing colors, changing personalities, you have to take some discomfort, because you already feel discomfort by changing personalities. So you can also take discomfort for your own growth, for actually stepping out of this changing colors. If you want to go deeper into this, subscribe the channel, and we see each other in the next video.